Welcome to my World Civ 2 class. I'm Dr. Gunderson. I'll be with you for the next 15, 16 weeks, what we consider 15 modules. This is a wonderful course. It's transferable, of course, to most universities and colleges. But I just wanted to go over a few things with you about this course that I designed. There's some key components that you need to be aware of in this course, and those key components are the weekly module quizzes, the discussion forum, the essay tests, and the research paper, and the 2 corollary assignments with that. But let me go over each one of these for you so you'll have a better idea of what is going to be expected of you in the next 16 weeks. This course is designed to be learner-centered. Thus, each weekly module will have instructions for the student to follow. Those requirements need to be met to move to the next module. And if you get behind, the module closes. But generally, I'll leave everything open for about a week, beginning on Friday or something and lasting until Thursday. But the way these modules are set, the way the course is set up on the key components, the research paper is worth 200 points, the essay tests are worth 100 points apiece, and everything else is worth 25 points apiece. Now, the 15 weekly modules require, generally, they cover 1 chapter, sometimes 2, on the readings, but they're designed to give you time to be able to look if you can't get the answer correct, because the modules are set up to be open long enough for you to be able to do that. Remember, in all cases with this course, you will need to use Respondus Lockdown Browser and Windows 7. No matter if you change computers to take a test or whatever, you still need to use the appropriate equipment. So if you test somewhere else, you'll still need to download Respondus Lockdown Browser. The 4 components real quick. The quizzes are weekly module quizzes, and I already talked a little bit about those. Those keep you on track with your studies. The discussion forums require you to participate in a meaningful manner, adding important information, building upon prior information. Think about it as almost like an encyclopedia entry that is missing a couple of lines, that you need to add those in there, or to build another section. The essay tests, it'll open up, and generally I will have prepared you through the course material to be able to take those essay tests. They are timed. You'll have to have Respondus Lockdown Browser and everything installed before you can take them. Then, of course, you have the research paper or the discussion forums. The discussion forums actually are designed to prepare you for the essay tests. And finally, the research paper. The research paper is not a lengthy one by any means. It's only 4 pages. The key here is learning how to use EndNote-style documentation, as most people only teach MLA-style documentation. And I think it's important, and most scholars will agree, that students be able to use different types of documentation styles other than MLA. And Microsoft lends itself well to doing EndNotes. You simply go into Insert and follow the dialog box. The research paper is only 4 pages, but the 2 corollary assignments that go with it are important. They're key building components of that research paper. And one is to write a bibliography and send me a list of the sources that you plan to use. Your type bibliography in the style that is given to you is a requirement to do. The other corollary assignment that goes with the research paper, which is a skill building tool, is writing the introduction to the research paper. Writing the introduction to the research paper is a key component to actually getting started on the research paper and knowing where you're going. In fact, that's what it should tell you, is the purpose of the paper, where it's going. So those are the key components of the course. I think that the course is structured well. Let me go over some of the topics that we're going to cover. Of course, we're going to cover the Age of Discovery, the European Enlightenment, the Reformation, China, late medieval China, when they were starting to actually get out there and explore a little bit. And the wars of religion, of course, those are key components. We'll talk about absolutism. Again, Islam comes up. Again, the late Islamic empires, the Mughal Empire in particular, and the Enlightenment, as I said. The other unit that other major unit is going to cover a lot of revolutions. It's going to cover the English, the American, the French, and Latin American revolutions that occur around the turn of the 16th, 17th century. Then, of course, you have the Napoleonic Wars, which follow the revolutions of 1848, which actually are a little bit later development. We'll look at the British Empire, especially in this second major unit, how far they expand. We'll look at the Far East, South Asia, again. Then the third major unit covers nationalism, socialism, colonialism, industrialism, imperialism, World War I, World War II, the Russian Revolution, the rise of dictatorial, totalitarian regimes in Europe, World War II, very critical components in building a whole construct of a history as a major unit. Really, the last unit covers the world since 1945, and the first key component of that will, of course, be the Cold War. The Cold War was a transformational event after World War II. For at least 30 years, it shaped American foreign policy, it shaped American thinking, and then things began to change in the 70s and early 80s, only as a result of the United States' bulwark against communism. We'll look at decolonization in the Third World and the rise of really socialist regimes in the Third World, some far-right regimes, some democracies or thriving democracies, not functional but democracies, but thriving democracies. And we'll look at the fall of communism and the rise of Asia as a final tributary to the events of the 21st century. The events of the 21st century will be profound. Probably one of the most important events that's going to occur is that the greatest number of refugees in the 21st century will not come from war. They will, in fact, come from the environment. And we're going to realize growing competition from Europe as it is a future clash of nations. But right now, the United States can still project her military might abroad. China really doesn't have a blue water navy like the United States, but they're fast rising, so is India. And other nations are modernizing their forces and trying to establish themselves as a dominant culture and civilization in their section of the world. Anyway, please enjoy the course. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at my eLearn address. I'll respond any way I can. If it's a lengthy question, please call me and I'll get back with you that way. Anyway, enjoy the course. Like I said, if you have